What's up, everybody? Caesar Madrazo here, and we are back with more Doki Doki Blue Skies. This is episode 6, and we're just picking up right where we left off. This is the post-poetry sharing scene on the second day. So, let's see what we can get into in today's episode. Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? Actually, Natsuki and I haven't shared yet. Uh-oh, I can feel a storm coming on. Yuri hesitantly approaches Natsuki, who isn't meeting her eyes. And considering Natsuki's poem for today, it's no wonder that she doesn't want to share with Yuri. Well, she actually, if I remember right, she was very excited to share with Yuri. It's just that the player character kind of talked her out of it. Judging by Monika and Sayori's anxious expressions, they seem to be thinking along the same lines I am. I can practically see Natsuki sweating pinballs. Why would she be? She was excited to share, and she could probably still want to share. It's just, as I said, the player talked her out of it. Meanwhile, Yuri appears to be blissfully unaware of the situation. I'd convinced Natsuki to reconcile with Yuri, but if she sees Natsuki's poem, well, it's all over. So, Natsuki, if I may. How about we do this tomorrow instead? I'm not, feeling well. It's my time of the month. Okay, we're going there apparently. I can practically see Monika internally facepalming. Yeah. Natsuki must have forgotten that the club isn't all girls anymore. Ah, is that so? I'm sorry, you must feel absolutely terrible if you can't even share your poem today. You don't need to apologize, it's not your fault. I can definitely share tomorrow. Ah. Well, even if you aren't well enough to share your own poem, would you like to see mine? I, wrote it thinking about our argument the other day. I suppose that I wanted to show you that I'm more open-minded than I may have appeared, as a way of repenting. I know that it's not much, but hopefully this can contribute to a reconciliation between us. Although we may have our disagreements, I would like to consider you, a friend. You know, if I'm correct, if Yuri is believing what Natsuki said, then perhaps the best solution here would be to not try to make her do anything. I feel like, you know, I don't go through that, being that I possess the Y chromosome, so I would know nothing about how Natsuki would feel if she was being honest about what she was going through at the moment. But I'm gonna say prior experience tells me, primary and secondary, tells me that Yuri should probably know that it's not a good idea to try to make Natsuki do anything if she is experiencing problems in this regard to the degree that she doesn't even want to share a poem. That probably means you should just, like, not bug her right now, like, at all. And friends forgive each other. I'm sorry if that's presumptuous of me to say. No, it's not presumptuous of you to say that, because I'd like to consider you a friend too. So you can hand over that poem then. With a shy smile, Yuri hands the sheet of paper in her hands over to Natsuki. As Natsuki reads the poem, her eyes widen. You're writing using rhyme and stuff? Like me? You could say that you convinced me to practice adding more lyricism to my poetry. Natsuki looks like she's speechless, for once. Thanks, Yuri. It's awesome. Well, wait, no, you can't say for once about Natsuki being speechless, because she was speechless during the original game when Sayori sort of like, not laid into, but she intervened on Yuri's and Natsuki's argument. And it said that after Sayori was done saying her piece, Natsuki just sort of like sat down blank-faced in her seat with nothing to say. And actually, I think that even happened to a certain degree in this mod too. So the for once comment, not entirely accurate. Excuse me, folks. Thanks, Yuri. It's awesome. There's really no need to thank me. Well, I'm really glad that I got to know you. And I'll definitely have something that'll knock your socks off tomorrow. Then I'll be looking forward to that. I do hope you feel better tomorrow as well, so that you could share your work with me then. Ha! Yeah, of course. That was a crisis and a half avoided. I'm really glad that Natsuki and Yuri worked things out, and it seems that Monika and Sayori feel the same way. It's good to see everyone getting along. Now that we are done sharing, though, I have something to discuss with you all. There's a great opportunity for expanding the club that's coming up. Is this about the festival? You could say that. Do we really have to do something? It's only in a few days, so it's not like we'll be able to come up with anything good. You know, this is the point where Yuri should start to get a little suspicious about Natsuki's excuse for not sharing her poem, because she is, well, she's still talking and interacting with people here, so if she can do those two things, then she can share a poem. Yes, that's something I'm concerned about as well. With such little time left to prepare, I doubt we'll be able to put together anything good enough to attract new members. Yeah, we'll just end up embarrassing ourselves. Oh, don't worry so much. We're gonna keep it simple, okay? Nothing more than a few decorations. I can design some pamphlets to hand out at the event, and Sayori made posters to put up around the school. Okay, that's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're gonna put on a poetry performance. A what? Monika, everyone's going to choose one poem to recite out loud. It doesn't have to be written by you, as long as you put your heart into the recitation. Although, of course, it'd be great if you could show off your own work. And the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite their poems too. Yeah, I put a thing on the posters that says, bring your own poems. It's gonna be so cool! Sayori pulls out a poster out of her bag and holds it up for us to see. Are you kidding me, Monika? Don't tell me you started putting those posters up already. Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea? Well, you didn't even ask us before you started advertising. We never agreed to stand up in front of a bunch of random people and perform our poems. I agree with Natsuki. I could never in my life do something like that. Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear. Guys! Yes, let's please calm down and take a moment to think about it. I understand that you two haven't had much experience sharing your poems out loud. In fact, we all haven't done that much. But I still think we should try our best. Look around. Monika motions to all of us. We're all here because we have the passion for literature in this club. Don't you want to share that passion with other people to inspire them to pursue their inner writer? Yeah! It's all about exploring yourself and trying new things, all while having fun. Monika and I nod our heads in agreement. Natsuki and Yuri, on the other hand, remain silent. Guess that means it's my turn to say something. Sorry guys, I don't know what's up with my sinuses today. I mean, I don't think it's that much to ask. As Monika said, we're all here because we care about the club and we want to see it flourish. And if all that means is a 2-minute poetry performance, then I think we can manage. Sayori and Monika's faces light up as I finish speaking. Hey, it isn't like we don't care about the club. It's just, do we really have to perform? Do you know how hard it is to get you know how hard it is to get new members? It's because people are just narrow-minded jerks. They don't even give literature a chance. Who's to say this festival will be any different? I'm inclined to agree with Natsuki. I'm sorry, Monika. I know how much you want to do this, but I just can't imagine performing in front of a crowd of strangers. Well, at least Yuri and Natsuki have proven they can agree on something. Monika sighs, her eyes closed, as she rubs her temples. Look, guys, I know you're anxious. I understand that, I really do. Wait, so Monika seems to be getting stressed out a little bit easier than she did in the original game. You know, if she's so, like, done with these two to the point that she's rubbing her temples, then, maybe her threshold for dealing with stress has been reduced a little bit by the mod. Sorry again. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit nervous myself. After all, it's my club, so people are gonna judge me the most if our performance doesn't go well. Natsuki, if it makes you feel any better, a few of my friends will be coming along. They're lovely people. They won't judge you for your tastes. I've known them for a few years, trust me. Natsuki huffs, turning away. She doesn't look particularly convinced. And Yuri, I know it's a scary thought, but I've thought of a way to ease you into it. Why don't we start by practicing our poems to each other in the club? No way! Monika, this is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? But, Monika, there's just gotta be something else we can do. Yuri nods vigorously at Natsuki's words, anxiety written all over her face. But guys! No, Sayori, it's okay. If you guys really think we can do better than a poetry performance, then I'll gladly go along with an alternative. So, any ideas? An awkward silence fills the room. We all glance at each other anxiously before Sayori finally speaks up. Oh, we could... Sayori stops and thinks to herself for a moment. Wait, no, never mind. That wouldn't work. Once again, the room falls silent. Well then, I guess we can't come up with something different after all. That was kind of a jerk move, Monika. You know, if you were serious about going along with an alternative, then you could have said, okay, if you guys think you can come up with something, then I'll give you a day to think about what else we could do. I mean, you can't give the club members 2 minutes or like 1 minute to come up with something and expect them to just have the greatest idea ever. So, that was kind of shady, Monika. Monika laughs, attempting to ease the tension of the room. That is not how you ease the tension of the room. That came across more of like an, aha, I gotcha, I'm right moment. I know you guys might not be the most on board with this idea, but I think it's our best option. Please, guys, please. Can you stop pressuring us? Yeah, Monika really is. Monika, Sayori, and the player character are, like, really putting on the pressure right now. I'm honestly surprised Natsuki's putting up such a resistance. I knew she was a little hot-headed, but even still. I'm not pressuring you, Natsuki. Yes, you are. Yes, you are pressuring them, Monika. You're throwing them into something they didn't even ask to be a part of. Excuse me. Both of them have raised their voice. Yuri looks a little startled, and Sayori looks anxious to intervene. Ah! Guys! Please, there's no need to get angry. Can we just discuss this normally? Monika reflects on Sayori's words, looking a little ashamed of her outburst. Ah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my voice. It's just, this festival is important to me, that's all. Ever since I created this club, I've always wanted to show other people. Natsuki, Yuri, I imagine you were both a little apprehensive when Caesar joined, right? After all, he was an unfamiliar face. She smiles warmly at me. But look, he's integrating really well. He's made the effort to get to know us and our individual writing styles. She turns to Yuri. And Yuri, remember at the start when he asked you for a book recommendation? Yuri nods as Monika shoots her a knowing smile. Must have been lovely, being able to share a book you're so passionate about with a new person, right? Yes, it was enjoyable discussing it with you, Caesar. Yeah, likewise. It isn't something I'd normally read, so without you, it would have gone by unnoticed. One thing that, this is a minor critique of the mod, but one thing that I will point out is that it is kind of awkward when the girls that are not saying anything just have the same expression on their face for, like, lines and lines of dialogue. Like, a little while ago, I noticed Sayori went from smiling to immediately, like, crying with her arms up. So, I think that one thing that could be done to improve the mod is maybe put some transitory faces, like in-between faces of the girls, even if they're not the ones speaking. And you can do that. I've done it in the meta series before. But, as I said, minor complaint. See, guys? Maybe we'll find more people who are just into horror as Yuri. More like-minded people. Now, come on, tell me that isn't an appealing idea. Yes, of course, but really my biggest issue is with the actual performance aspect of the festival. Well, like I said, I know it's a scary thought, performing in front of a bunch of strangers. But trust me when I say I have full faith in you. All of you. Your poems are amazing, guys, and I just know people will love them. It's almost criminal not to show them off. So, what do you think, guys? For me? For us? Fine. I still don't think this is a good idea, but fine, I'll do it. Just stop guilt-tripping us. Yeah, Monika's being very manipulative here, I have to say. Whew. Thanks, Natsuki. And you, Yuri? Yuri nervously glances at each of our expectant faces. But Monika, what if people start being inconsiderate and disturb us or laugh? I'm not surprised Yuri's worried about this. Oh, don't you worry. If anyone steps out of line, I'll put a swift stop to that. You will? Monika, you've established before that you're not very good at confronting people, so you're gonna be the one to step in? In fact, even, raising your voice to Natsuki was a little bit out of character for you. So that's, a little bit off for you, Monika. I think maybe Sayori should be the one saying that she can stop anybody from, being disrespectful. She has a stern glint in her eye, and I have to repress a shiver. I'm glad she's with us. Yuri looks somewhat relieved, but it's clear she's still worried. She swallows and nods. I suppose I don't really have a choice, do I? I shake my head. Okay, I'll do it. Yay! That's everyone! And look, you see, well, no, okay, Natsuki's face is still appropriate here, but Monika's isn't. You see, she's not the one talking anymore, but right now Monika should be smiling that Yuri finally agreed to go along with it. This club is seriously going to be the death of me. I know you'll do great, Yuri. Just trust me. But anyway, let's move back on to the main event. While we have time, I want each of you to choose a poem of yours to practice reciting in front of each other. Yuri and Natsuki exchange uneasy glances, but don't say anything. Don't worry, I'll go first, so everyone feels a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now let's see. Monika flips through her notebook searching for a specific poem. Ah, here we are. The title of this poem is The Way We Fly. Ahem. Monika begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. Her eyes move across the page in sync with her lips. Every word has the perfect amount of emotion put behind it, making the poem almost come to life. Her inflection is extraordinary. I'm impressed, and judging by a quick glance around me, so is everyone else. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Even Natsuki's once sour attitude is replaced by awe. Finally, Monika finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monika takes a breath and smiles. I'm really sorry I have to keep doing that, guys. That was so good, Monika. Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? Yep. Sayori jumps up from her chair and takes Monika's place in front of the room. This poem is called, how did you do it so easily, Monika? Well, try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. It's your poem, so it'll come out best that way. Oh, I think I get it. Sayori nods to herself. Anyway, this poem's called My Meadow. Sayori begins reciting her poem. It seems as if her soft voice is a perfect match. As for the poem itself, it has a similar tone when compared to her other ones. It's peaceful yet somber at the same time. Bittersweet, you could call it. Hearing the poem in Sayori's voice almost gives it an entirely new meaning. I think this is what Sayori means when she says she likes my poems. It's like seeing a whole new side of someone you thought you knew completely. Sayori finishes and we all applaud. I did it! Yep, good job. Sayori beams as she walks back to her seat. So, who'd like to go next? Natsuki, Yuri, and I all look at each other nervously. I open my mouth, but Yuri beats me to the punch. I'll go. Nice. Thanks for showing initiative, Yuri. Yes. Yuri rushes over to the podium, clenching a sheet of paper in her hands. This poem is called... Yuri freezes as she looks up at us. You can do it, Yuri! It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye. Yuri begins to recite her poem. Her voice is shaky at first, but the more she reads, the more confident she becomes. It's similar to what happens when she gets absorbed in her books. The shy and apprehensive Yuri I'm used to seeing is replaced by a fierce and confident woman. The poem itself is like a maze in its structure with twists and turns every line, but Yuri is unfazed and enunciates each word with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around at her, as if she's bewildered even herself. Monika is the first to start applauding. Sheepishly, I follow along, and soon the clubroom is filled with the sound of applause. Yuri ducks her head in embarrassment, a shy smile creeping over her face. Yuri, that was really good. Like I said, you don't have anything to worry about. Thank you for sharing. Thanks. Guess Yuri's done for the day. So, who'd like to go next? Natsuki? Why would I go before Caesar? It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Caesar lower everyone's standards before I go. Natsuki. Monika hastens to chastise her, shooting me a sympathetic look. That was kind of rude, don't you think? You should apologize to Caesar. Monika, after, all the manipulative tactics that you've used today, I don't think that you're one to talk about anybody being rude. You've kind of acted like a narcissist this entire episode. Natsuki's face turns red as the girls all look at her. I decide to spare Natsuki from the embarrassment. Hey, it's really no big deal. I'll end up going at some point anyway. Might as well do it now. Thing is, I don't have much of a selection to choose from. I'll just have to go with what I wrote today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I take a deep breath. In my head, I repeat to myself the advice Monika gave Sayori. Try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. Alone. My house is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of being alone. The scene rapidly develops in my head like I'm recalling a recent memory. I'm sitting alone at my desk. The dim light hanging from the ceiling gives warmth to the room. Alright, so this is a little bit different than the original. In front of me is the poem I just finished, the ink from my pen still fresh on the page. I pick up the notebook and begin reciting it out loud. While I'm not the most confident in it, I still try to put energy into it. I can almost hear my voice echoing off my bedroom walls. As I finish, the sound of applause pulls me out of my daydream. I'm back in the club room, standing at the podium while the girls politely applaud my performance. That was good, Caesar. I guess. Don't be so hard on yourself. I don't think it's your writing abilities, but rather your lack of confidence that weighs you down. That's something that'll improve over time, though, so don't worry. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Alright then, that just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah, I'm going. As she says this, Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium. This poem is called... It's called... Stop looking at me! But you're presenting. You don't have to stare straight into my soul, though. She takes a moment to compose herself. Anyway, this poem is called Jump. Natsuki takes a breath. While her voice is unenthusiastic, the poem has a surprising amount of energy to it. The rhymes tie into each other seamlessly, creating a flow that moves the poem along at a brisk pace. The words seem to bounce up and down with the rhythm, seemingly make the poem come to life. It's Natsuki's signature style, and it works exceptionally well when read aloud. She quickly finishes and huffs as she makes her way back to her seat while we applaud her. See, that wasn't so bad, was it? She stares at her poem blankly for a second before replying. Easy for you to say. You better not make me do that again. Well, that's what we're going to be doing at the festival, so did you at least feel confident enough to do it in front of a crowd? I guess. It's not like there's any other choice. And I guess it'll be easier doing it in front of other people. I can just put on whatever face I want with strangers. I don't care about what they think of me. But when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. But I still hate the idea that we have to perform. Yeah, agreed, Natsuki. She mutters that last sentence under her breath. The others probably didn't even hear it. I knew Natsuki was stubborn, but this is a whole other level. However, it does look like she's going along with the idea of performing for the festival. Well, at least for now, since she's basically outvoted and can't come up with another idea anyway. Really? That's a surprise. For me, it's the other way around. Having all those people looking at you, judging you? Ugh, I don't like to think about it. I can relate to that, Yuri murmurs quietly. The thought of so many eyes observing your every move all at once. She trails off, shaking her head. Well, that's just how it is, so... Natsuki sighs in frustration. Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about at the festival. Speaking of which, I want to thank all of you for performing. It might be difficult, but now that we have a general idea of what it'll be like, we'll be able to prepare ourselves. Make sure you pick out a poem and show it to me by tomorrow, okay? We need to know so I can make the pamphlets over the weekend. I should probably find a different poem to recite. I know you'd prefer it if we used our own poetry, but I'm probably going to pick a poem from a poet I like or something. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, Caesar. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting all this effort into the club. Low expectations, huh? More like any effort put in makes me happy in general. Monika smiles at me and then turns to smile at everyone else. That goes for everyone here. Thanks for going along with these last-minute plans. Anyway, I think that about does it for today. Let's still try and write poems for tomorrow, okay? I know the festival's coming up, but it's been working out nicely the past few days, and I'd like it to continue. Tomorrow we'll finalize who's doing what for the festival, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Remember, we have till Monday. It'll be so much fun. I can't wait. We all stand up, packing away our things. However, Monika's voice stops us. Oh, and guys, she pauses, twirling a strand of hair in her hand. This club truly does mean so much to me, and I really appreciate what you're willing to do for it. You guys are the best. In typical fashion, Natsuki just rolls her eyes. Yuri smiles timidly, while Sayori wears a hearty smile. Let's just get it over with. I hope we don't regret this. That's okay, Monika. Nothing to thank us for. We really appreciate what you've made for us. I can't help but catch Yuri muttering under her breath as she says this. I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, I love it here. We'll get to spread this cozy little place to other people. Yeah, it's all good, Monika. Alright, I stand up and grab my bag. While I'm certainly not as enthusiastic as Monika or Sayori about the festival, if I can pull that little daydream stunt again, I think I'll be alright. It's for the sake of the club, not to mention impressing the girls. Once I'm fully packed up, I walk over to Sayori. Ready to go? Yep. Jeez, don't you ever get tired of always walking home with Caesar, Sayori? Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Oh, don't mind her. You guys are more adorable than anything. Alright. No need to make a big deal out of it. It must be a little nice, though. Yeah, I guess. Jeez. Let's just go already, Sayori. Okay. The two of us begin the walk home. A lot has changed in the past few days. Lost in though, I think that's supposed to be lost in thought. I don't even notice how quiet Sayori's being until we're almost back home. There's a lot going on in the club now, huh? I bet you're thinking about all your new vice president duties that you'll have to deal with when the club gets bigger. Yeah. Anything specific on your mind? Not really. Sorry, did you want to talk? I mean, we don't have to if you're thinking about stuff. No, it's nice talking to you. I was thinking about something from earlier. It's nice that we, never mind, it's nothing. You're sounding a little like Yuri right now. Oh yeah? Well, I guess I just have a question for you, Caesar. What's up? Sayori clears her throat before speaking. So, let's just say that one day Yuri asked to walk home with you. Huh? What would you do? What kind of question is that? You're kind of putting me on the spot here. Well, okay, so we're doing the Sayori route, so I would still walk home with Sayori. Sayori. I'd walk home with you, of course. Sayori pauses for a moment. She glances at me from the side before turning away. But she's so beautiful and smart. Jeez. Why me? Her reply surprises me, and I'm not sure how to answer or what she wants to hear. I already see her in the club every day. Besides, you always seem to really like going home together. I wouldn't just ruin that for you. You're so silly, Caesar. She gives me a pained smile. You think about me too much sometimes. Yuri would deserve it if she wanted it, so... Sayori, I've already made up my mind. I really can't figure you out sometimes. Sorry. Besides, like I said, I've enjoyed catching up with you again. Why would I just change that for another girl? Walking home with you and talking about just anything, it's a great throwback. She doesn't seem as happy as I'd have imagined. I mean, both our childhoods were pleasant. Strange. The conversation trails off. It's kind of weird. It's a kind of a weird thing for Sayori to care about so much, but I want to respect her and keep her happy too. Sayori and I part ways without saying another word. I reach my house and open the door. I'm home. No response. I'm alone, as usual. I mumble that part to myself. Talking to myself as if I'm the protagonist of a manga or game, I must be going stir crazy. Mama's still out on her business trip. She's never home anymore. I miss her. But I don't blame her for anything. It's hard enough providing for yourself, let alone a kid. Since I'm alone, I decide to make an instant meal for dinner. Digging through my cabinets, I find some old soup cups. Miso soup sounds good. I unwrap the packaging, pour in some water, and place the meal in the microwave. While it cooks, my mind wanders back to my performance earlier. That daydream was so vivid and realistic. Can I really pull that off? Can I really pull off that performance again, but this time in front of a crowd? It wasn't even that great in the first place. Just doing it in front of the girls was nerve-wracking. Guess I'm not really used to being around people again. Maybe that's it. Thinking about it, I guess I've been kind of subconsciously isolating myself from people ever since the divorce. Before it even, in some cases. I wonder when I started shunning myself. Maybe that's part of why Sayori and I drifted apart over the years. It wasn't intentional or anything, it just happened. At least I don't think it was intentional. But I'm glad I got to reconnect with her in the literature club. It's given me something to do, something to look forward to that isn't anime or video games. Talking with the girls has made me feel more appreciated. So we're getting little character development for the player character here, which, okay, now I can understand what the developers are trying to do here. In the original game, the protagonist was kind of like, a cookie-cutter blank slate that you could easily insert yourself into. Here, I think they're still trying to make it so that you can insert yourself into this scenario to a certain degree. Like, I think, excuse me, I think maybe they're thinking about, the generalities, like, that you would see in the kind of person that would play DDLC and the kind of person that would play DDLC mods. What are some typical traits that you would see in that demographic? And that's not to say that everybody who plays DDLC or plays DDLC mods would, be suffering from loneliness or have self-doubt or, purposely unintentionally isolate themselves, not feel appreciated, that sort of stuff. But they probably thought maybe that a good number of them, or like at least a noteworthy percentage of them probably do, and so that's why they decided to make some character development for the player, which, that is along those lines. Which that's okay. I can see what they're doing here. It's a nice feeling, something that's been missing from me ever since the divorce. Maybe that's why Sayori likes walking home with me. It makes her feel appreciated. Sayori. The more I think about it, the more concerned for her I get. She said some pretty weird stuff, but I guess people just have their off days. Maybe she's just changed a little bit over the years. Pretty normal, right? I'd like to think I'd be able to tell if something was up with her, although given our recent distance, I'm not so sure. Sure, we've started talking again, but there's a lot of lost time. Maybe that'll change, and we'll grow back to how we used to. Beep. I hope. Alright, so we are about 30 minutes in, and we finished up the day, so I think that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. In the next episode, we'll do the poem for the third day, and then we will go from there. So, this was episode 6. Right, so, alright, that'll do it for today, guys. Until tomorrow, I'm Caesar Madrazo, and I'm out.